7/26/2025. We're going to go over the love-fear table and how it works. So the three attributes of fear would be anxiety, depression, anger / violence. Spelling might be wrong. The three attributes of love: acceptance, tolerance, forgiveness. We can also call this positive, negative, empath, narcissist, humility, pride and ego. One thing I want to clarify right away is with the pride and the ego is pride and ego doesn't always necessarily mean better than. It can also mean less than. Better than homicide, less than suicide. So what does this really look like, right? In my life, the ups and downs, the back and forths, right? This will show you that addiction is not a disease. This will show you that addiction is a negative obsession of the mind and how we medicate it. What I mean by that is I could be having feelings of love and be positive and go negative. How do I do that? How I do that is by being selfish, self-serving. Make sense?
Yeah.
When I'm selfish and self-serving, what does that mean? That means all I'm worried about is the me, myself, and I. What does that really look like? Control issues, right? When I think about myself, I deserve all the bullshit that comes with it, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm getting at? Mm-hmm. When I think about myself, the anxiety sets in. When I think about myself, depression sets in. When I think about myself, anger sets in. What are these? These three are the most controlling attributes of life. That's why you see religious people struggle. I was religious, extremely religious, right? And then I just seen that, man, I'm still struggling. Something's not right. What's not right is my personal relationship with God, right? When I say that, how much of this control issues am I really surrendering, right? Over here in love, we have surrender. Over here we have control. Anxiety. Control the future. That's where we get into the manipulation aspects. Whether it's in the addiction cycle, whether it's in a work setting. You hear people all the time getting mad because they can't control things. Depression. Control the past. You don't like the way the life dealt you the cards. I like to sit in this one a lot in my life. Anger and violence. Hell, I only get mad at you when you don't do what I want you to do when I want you to do it. And then how do I react, right? Violence. So let's talk about where this comes from, right? Trauma, right? What happens with our trauma? Our trauma creates a belief system, right? This belief system is not based off of this. The belief system is based off of this, right? It's based off of this. Why? So we can protect ourselves, right? So it becomes a negative belief system. Which leads to a negative obsession of the mind. Make sense so far? You can apply this in every area of life, not just drug addiction. If I mentor 40 people, I would say 10 of them never had problems with addiction. They just had a problem with negative thinking patterns, right? How do we get out of it? This is what I found. Helping others. That's the only way out of it. That and gratitude. All too often when I run into problems in my life these days, and I focus on them, when I'm very honest about it, hell, 5 years, 10 years, 3 years ago, I would have begged to have these problems. They're problems of luxury, right? The problems I have today are pretty good problems to have. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because at a time, I would have begged for these problems. The difference is the extremeness, right? I only figured this out because I had to. I almost feel bad for normal people because they could skate by through life living a mediocre balance. That's why I'm blessed to be a psychotic person, right? Because I couldn't deal with it anymore, whether I'm at work, whether I'm sober, whether I'm using. Hell, when I'm sober, I'm the worst off ever. When I first got sober, I struggled the most. I then tried quitting smoking weed. Worse off yet. Right?
For a while.
Well, this is why. You got 3 things that make you. Spirit, mental, physical. Let's talk about this. Okay? Give me some medications. Let's start out with alcohol, throw some drugs in there.
Whether it be prescription or
Prescription, whatever. Well, let's throw some medical marijuana. Medical marijuana, medical prescriptions. Right? And then let's throw some other stuff in there. Like, let's throw gambling in there. Let's throw work in there. Let's throw fishing, hunting. Oh, shopping. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, for days.
Right?
Yeah.
What else? Give me. Oh, how about codependency?
yeah, that's a big one.
Anything else? Well, let's see what else. Oh, food. What else?
Yeah.
Working out. That's what I'm going through right now, right? I started going to the gym, lost some weight, got some results. Then I went from 3 days a week to 6 days a week, and now I'm at the chiropractor, like I'm almost folded up, right? So, right?
Yeah.
There's a very fine line.
Oh yeah.
Sex.
Yeah, porn.
Did I put porn on here yet? Porn. The big P. Okay, I think that's good enough for right now.
Yeah, it's a pretty good list.
I mean, we can figure some more. Oh, golf, sports,
Sports.
right? Why is it important to identify these? Some might be healthier obsessions than others,
Yeah.
but why is it important to identify these?
Can't
Right?
resolve a problem with until you identify what's going on.
It's important to identify these because if the spiritual battle isn't there, if there's no spirit, right? Then everything's happening mentally,
Yeah.
right? With the trauma, the belief system, the negative belief system becomes use to abuse to dependency to obsession.
Yep.
That makes sense.
When we're going through the obsession, right? So now, the spirit's out of it.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to get into how to be spiritual, but let me show you the mental. Okay? The mental battle's lost. Now what do? We need to medicate that bad boy, don't we? Well, however we medicate it, will show up in the physical realm. The physical is like the answer to the test, right? Shopping, broke. Codependency, one girl to the next. Alcohol, me, as soon as I drink, I go to jail. I don't know how well you know me. Drugs, federal indictments, prison. Medical prescriptions, we don't need to go there. That's I could cost a job, right? Oh, gambling's gambling's one of my favorite. I was making about 50 grand a week, and the brokest person you ever met.
Yeah.
Work. Focusing on work, the money, to take my mind off of everything else. Fishing, hunting. I don't do either one of those, but I have in my life. Are they totally negative? No, but they're self-serving. I mean, unless if you're gonna go catch fish or take somebody fishing to help them, or hunting, food. I was about 300 pounds and couldn't do 2 push-ups before. Working out, I just went through that. Sex with a partner by myself, doesn't really matter, right? Just filling them empty voids. And porn, right? Just sitting there with oodles and oodles of bugs and phones shutting off. And just, turn on the phone and says, please wait, loading next scene. Never mind, I don't know what you're talking about. So how does it work, right? I'll put it to like this. If my whole body's an energy center, right? And I'm trying to control everything outside of myself, right? Oh, we can add anger down here, sadness. The most elusive feeling of all, like this is total bipolar, happiness. Oh, that's the biggest liar. Why? If I get in a relationship with you, how many times do you ever hear, you just don't make me happy anymore? I'm not happy with you. Nah, fool, you're not happy with yourself.
Yeah.
It's that happiness is elusive. That's why we have all these problems, because we're trying to be happy. We want to be happy. We're trying to fulfill these voids in the mental, right?
Yep.
Does it make sense?
Oh yeah.
I'm chasing all my happiness in all the wrong spots. When I need to be content with who I am. And that's going to take us in the next portion of this. You know, we'll go get into that, self-acceptance. / love. Right? When I try to medicate the mental, everything shows up in the physical. Right? So how does it look, right? You know? Trauma, belief systems. We live in a society with Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it teach us? That our girls are never going to be good enough.
Yeah.
That we raise our daughters to be what? Princesses and queens? Why don't we raise them to be angelic? You know, loving, caring. No, we teach them we teach everybody expectations and entitlement.
Yep. Which is an automatic letdown.
Gratitude, acceptance.
Yep.
If people practice this in any kind of relationship, whether it be business, personal, I see people all the time segregating their lives. I'm different at home. This is who I am at home. This is who I am at work. This is who I am with my friends. I'm pretty much the same all around when you get to know me. Like if I'm dumb at work, I'm dumb at home, and I'm sillier than silly string with my homeboys or my people, right? I'm always, I can't say I'm always in a good mood I try to be in a positive mood most times, right? Especially when things get me down. So how does this big bad boy really look? I had to get here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had to realize, and how it happened was I was mentoring a kid. Did you meet Mario ever?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I got a phone call. My dad's dying of cancer, and I have all these resentments and hatred towards him, right? And I couldn't get over it. Just hated him. The abuse, the name calling, physical, mental, verbal, financial, my whole life. But the dude's dying. And I told him, well, actually I have about 8 spiritual leaders, 10. You know most of them. Dale. I told them all. Like, hey dude, I don't know how to do this with my dad. I don't know how to forgive him. He's dying. And they said, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it. one day I was praying, and my dad and I just got in an argument, and I was trying to mend things, and it didn't go the way I expected. And he's told me that everything I'm doing is going to be a failure, this program. And he's the only one that's ever told me it's not going to work. And I mean, that's out of everybody in town. From Chad Wachter to, I mean, everybody. Skip.
Yep.
So the behavioral health specialists, therapists, addiction counselors. I never had my dad's support, right? So I was sitting there one day, and this was going on. This wasn't that long ago either. I was sitting there one day, and I was praying, and I was like, "Hey, man, I need to forgive my dad." You know, and how that really looked was, all of a sudden I got a phone call from Mario, and he said, "I just want you to know how much I love you, and how different I feel in my life because I've had you in it, and you've shown me a different way of living." That one phone call right there made every time I walked into a federal prison, anytime I had handcuffs put on me, it made it worth it. Because right there, I made all my past worth it. So what I'm really trying to say is, if my dad was any other way, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the self-acceptance and self-love comes in, right?
Yep.
So really how it looked to me, I think it, as if God knows how many hairs I had on my head, right? He knows my expiration and end date.
Mm-hmm.
Well, would it be so far-fetched to believe that I'm a soul with a body, not just a body with a soul, right? And maybe, just maybe, me and the old boy had a whole conversation of who I wanted to be or who I was going to be in this lifetime. And maybe, just maybe, I had to take all the hard knocks.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them probably self-inflicted, right? But maybe, just maybe, there's a reason why my best friend hung himself on the phone with me. Maybe there's a reason for all the things that have happened in my life. Maybe there was a reason for my dad being exactly the person he was.
Yep.
And just like that, I went and met my dad, and I said, "Dad, you and I have never really gotten along very well, but I want to trade you for the world. You've been the best man I could ever ask for." And he's like, "Do you really mean that?" And I said, "Yeah." He almost died this last Christmas in December. And he called me. We did a baptism. I baptized like 3 or 4 people through this program with Pastor John Houser. Have you met him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so he's our vice president.
Okay.
He started Prairie Heights Church out in Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's phenomenal, dude. So like I did this baptism, and my dad came, and then after he came, he's like, I believe in everything you're doing, son. And you know what? I was like, I really don't care anymore. You're
That's
not
awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of showed me that, you know, all too often in life, we think that we're the ones raising our children, and maybe our children are really the ones raising us.
Yeah.
I was having this issue in this life change where I'm trying to control everything in my life, and everything I'm not trying to control is blossoming. Everything I'm trying to control is
Dying.
No dying.
yeah, like, oh, here comes another one of Billy's dumpster fires. You know, come home and I'm arguing with my kids every day. Because I'm a single dad. I'm working hours at work, and I love my job. Right? But I can't get along with my kids, and I'm ready to give up. Now, this is a problem I begged to have, and I even spent about 30 grand in attorneys when I first got hired on here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this company has changed my life. On some days, I was having a tough time waking up coming to work because I don't like to deal with some of the people here.
Mm-hmm.
because they play games. So then I had to realize, now I have total self-acceptance and love for who I am. Now on a Saturday night, I'm perfectly content sitting all by myself at home, probably laughing like a crazy hyena, like, thanking God for the life I have today. My brother Lee, the last person I'd ever expect to walk into my life, this big, ugly Samoan dude, comes in my life. I was just explaining to him earlier, like how ugly. He's like, sometimes I cry when I'm out by myself, and I was like, I would too if I was as ugly as you are. Like, I mean, but the level of love I feel for this man, because he walks into my life 3 months ago and picks up my daughter. We had a big blow up. My daughter's 16, going on 32. We just don't get along, right? That was 3 months ago. My daughter and I have not had an argument since.
No.
I quit trying to control everything. I quit trying to go head to head. Someone's got to be an adult, right? This dude totally healed my family. I don't even like the guy. For real. I don't get along that good. I'll wait until you meet him, dude. Hey, he is funny. I always tell him, oh dude, he gets on some kicks. Oh yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I mean, in life there's always going to be negative people. Or the negativity.
Hold on. Wait until we're done. So in life, we have victim, observer, creator. In this victim role, life is happening to us. I love going into jails and telling everybody they're victims, especially when they're all tatted up, face tattoos, and they think they're tough. Tell them they're a victim once. I ain't no victim. Yeah, you are, because you're reacting to everything. Along with self-acceptance, self-awareness is key. The self-awareness, I can only fix a problem. I can only fix my tire when I acknowledge that the tire is flat. That's it. I can only fix something when I know it's broken. Life happens to me. Victim. Observer. This is a change in perspective. Okay? How do you think the change in perspective is happening? Life isn't happening to me, it's happening for me. What does that mean? That means anybody in my life that's pissing me off, that's upsetting me, that I can't control, they're the most important people in my life. The negative ones, at this branch, I have a whole shitload of them. Mm-hmm. Oh, and they think they're really smart, right? And that they try making my life harder because they're straight haters. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They don't, I don't know if they know that I have this all figured out or have had it all figured out, because one of them is my cousin.
Wow. That's your fuel.
Huh?
That's your fuel.
Oh no, I sit there and pray for them every night.
Yep.
Man, I hope they get this right. You know, because they're making me a gangster. Mm-hmm. They've absolutely. I need 2 knee surgeries. I can barely walk. Right. So they made it Some people here knew I needed knee surgery, but financially I just couldn't swing it at that point in time, and they knew I was trying to plan it out with them. Layoff, you know. They got some negative people on board here that say, "Hey man, I don't need this job," and they kept them on. There's a whole bunch of negative shit that's festering in this outfit, but that's a whole different story. But I'm just telling you, that negative stuff that used to piss me off is the negative stuff that made me who I am today, that built me, that molded me. You know, a few months ago, I wasn't in very good shape. But now I can drink it with it. I'm almost down to my home, getting beat up. Wait. So what I'm saying is, my change in perspective has to come, right? If everything is happening for me, when Andrew and I broke up, that was all for me, right? Why? Because if she wouldn't do that, the little damsel, I wouldn't have all this. I had to figure it out. The last time I went through a bad breakup was my divorce, and I didn't even like her. And I went and got 5 pounds of dope. This one I was in love with, and she just sends over a text, "Get out of my house." When you came on board, was I living with her?
Mm-hmm.
I was living with her?
Mm-hmm. No, you were you were in the apartments over where the pond is in the middle of the.
Okay, yeah, I'm still there.
Okay,
So
that's where you were.
that you came after we broke up. Okay. So we were living together. It almost broke me, right?
Yep.
What happened? This is the most important part. Because when you have the negative people that you can't control, if they have to be in your life, if it's at work, learn from them. If it's in your personal life, you're done, son.
Yep.
If you're not programming with me, then you're programming against me.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't do drugs and you do drugs, we probably don't have a reason to hang out or kick it.
Mm-hmm.
I can love you, but I'm gonna love you from afar. So Andrew tries coming back into my life once again.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "I want to be with you." And I'm like, or she's like, "I love you." And I said, "Oh, I love you too." I said, "You are about the best ex-girlfriend a guy could ever ask for." And she's like, "Oh, we should get back together." And I'm like, "That'll never happen. I'll be your friend. And I'll love you. And if you ever quit smoking weed, you can be part of this program. But until then, I ain't got nothing for you. Like, I love you, but all that does, whether it's weed, mine was tobacco. You know, so I quit the drugs, I quit the alcohol. I got back on the marijuana maintenance program. That didn't serve me at all, right? That would numb the anxiety for the moment, right? I go to Harley Davidson, somebody pissed me off while I'm dealing on this bike. I almost snap out on them, say something, got crazy. I go home and I have a 16-year-old boy sitting on the front deck talking about killing himself. I would go from here to here to here,
Quick.
like a RPM gauge. Bam, 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 bam. How did I have to do it? I had to make it more of a fuel gauge. How do I stay over here? Well, first off, you cannot be negative and grateful at the same time.
No, it's impossible.
Possible. That's what I said. All these things you're telling yourself, bullshit. They're lies.
Mm-hmm.
To keep us in the same place that we are at.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the enemy wants us.
Yep.
Who's the enemy? Me, myself, and I.
Mm-hmm.
I want to always try to control and dictate everything around me.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I control and dictate myself? And then that'll change the flow of everything that goes on around me.
Yeah.
If I practice this in every area of my life, I'm only unsuccessful in the places I don't practice it. So as soon as I got this observer part down, that's where we kind of step into our spiritual selves. This is where the spirituality takes place, from victim to observer. I think it's scientifically proven you can change your DNA. I was flying back from Memphis where I meet some of the cool people. This is Roger Sherman and just some of the people that they have down there, and this group of at Barnhart is the reason why I stayed working here. When some of these other companies saw the way that the management was doing me up here, they were offered me jobs, knowing full well what was going on. Like, I don't lie to people, you know. I'm always pretty straight up. And they're like, dude, come work for us. I brought a bunch of accounts over here, and I just was trying to control everything, right? It wasn't mine to control. When I got hired on, it was brought to me like that. But as things went, I could see what they were trying to do. And I really wouldn't change a bit of it, or any of them, because without them being exactly who they are, I couldn't be me. What I'd really like to do is help them the same way they help me, out of love. Right? So when I got this locked down, observer, teacher, then I become the creator, and that's where this all stems from. And then when I become the creator, why? Then I can teach it. This really came about because if I'm busy worried about you and you, and you, I don't even have the time to think about where am I at? Me, myself, and Irene, Broad Billy. Or the hardest thing for me to come to was the extreme amounts of anger and violence I went through. I used to think I was a tough guy, and when I really had to come down to it and say, no, I wasn't. I was a spoiled, rotten little baby boy. Mama's little princess. Right? That's a hard one to swallow. When you live the life I lived. That's a very hard one to swallow. When I live in this teacher mentality, that's when the gifts start coming. My success in life comes from helping others. Everything that's happened with that program, I mean, it's like, dude, I found myself in the middle of a big crane deal. You know, lined up hopefully an acquisition for this company, because I went through the love-fear table with somebody that had about 30 years of sobriety. And he told me, he's like, I go to church and I'm always feeling in love. And then he's like, I go to work and he's like, I'm a prick. I said, oh, you know why? He's like, why? I said, because you're a control freak. He's like, what do you mean? I said, because you're trying to control. You don't want to fail. You don't want your people to fail. You're running a business and you want it to be successful. That's where the pressure comes in. Because all too often, we get into a Uber and we trust the driver. We get into an airplane and we trust the pilot. But when we're rocking this life out, why can't we trust our Creator? You know, when we came together and got, I can't remember, we started on this, right?
Yeah.
I don't know where we were that day. We were like, hey, let's do something and try to keep God out of it. Not keep God out of it, but keep the words God out of it.
The way you worded it was there's certain settings where when we go in and we start spitting God out, it's going to automatically
push
shut
people
down. So
away.
What we're going to do is we're going to be incognito.
Yeah. Well, we got to be sheep in wolves' clothing. You know, you go into a setting where people believe in God. Heck yeah, this is, you know.
Yep.
Nothing goes against the Bible. I guarantee you that.
Yep.
Not one bit of it. I think John's working on getting scripture to back every piece of this up.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing that goes against the Bible.
Yep.
It's just teaching you how to move into the spiritual side of the Bible.
I can tell you how your pride is going to come out of Proverbs. There's a lot about pride.
Proverbs doesn't say pride is the worst of all?
Yep. It does. Actually,
when we look at the sins, they're all pride based, right?
Yep.
So how does this work, right? We got all this, right? How do we move into this? How do we move into the belief system change, right? Well, first, this is how I did it. My first belief, let me see, what should I erase? I think I can do with this. I like that. Spirit, mental, physical, right? So my belief systems, right? My first belief. I really don't know anything. Even my life experiences, I really don't know. Because when I change my perspective or perception on things, or viewpoints, well, the reality changes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if I'm in a place where I don't, there's things I'd like my life to change in my life, I have to be honest with myself. Do I like where my life is? No, I don't. I love my life, but today there's not a whole lot I want to change. But there's always, if I have a negative feeling, there's always something I will change. So we start out with the belief system isn't working. Right? People, how much have you heard this? Change is hard. Keep telling yourself that.
Makes it harder.
Makes it harder. Change is going to take me a long time. No, it isn't. You can change in 5 seconds. I've literally seen people that had enough belief and trust in what I'm doing that after I was done, if they were 80% negative, they were 20% when they left their first time. I've seen them be 80% and totally positive when they first left. I've seen people stay in touch with me every day, calling in daily, hey bro, this is what I got going on. Because, when we change, the attacks come from the demons within. We want to hang on to that old life. So how do we do it? Belief system isn't working is my first belief. My second belief is I got to be willing to change any belief that isn't serving me. How do I know? Come on. How do you know, right? How do I know what belief isn't changing me? Well, let's just say this. If you disrespect me, how long am I going to be upset? If I disrespect you, how long are you going to be mad at me? Are you violent? Have you ever been violent? Oh, I'm very violent. So, one of my belief systems was you're going to respect me or I'm going to make you respect me. Another thing I used to tell people in prison, I'd be like, I'm the daddy of the Mac Daddies. That's how arrogant I was. All arrogant, narcissistic traits. Right? A lot of people might not be violent, but they're that narcissistic, cynical person that always has a retort for anything you say. And what they really don't realize is how smart they would be if they just shut up and took everything in. Because I used to be the same way, right? So my pride and my ego are what sets me back, right? The things I think I know. The things that I believe I know are what fails me all the time. Let's talk about it. Feelings. Change up colored markers for a minute. What do I got going on there?
You took the bottom off.
Bottom off there. Let's go. I want to black. Do I get a black yet?
No.
Okay. feelings. I'm going to put that in black. Let's talk about that. Sadness, anger. Any feelings? Give me some feelings.
Happiness.
Sad.
Sad.
Happy. Mad.
Unsure.
Uncertain. I know the derivatives of anxiety, worry, depression, sadness, right? All these feelings, right? You go to a counselor and they say, "Oh, how are you feeling?" I'm here to clip feelings. Like, I want to hurt your feelings, and I want to kill your pride. Because if they're not feelings of gratitude, hope, there's not a whole lot of feelings, right? What are they? Gratitude, joyful. That's true.
Happy.
That's the one people are looking for is joy.
Joyful. Yeah.
Yeah. Joy. Right? Check this out. What's excitement? Huh? Excitement is almost the same thing as anxiety, but on the fear side. The biggest key to life is this. Find what brings you the most excitement in serving others. That's sustainable. That's the one that sticks with you, right? You know, recently I walked into a graduation party, right? The kid I'm mentoring. The mechanic works here. I'm mentoring his kid brother and his mom. I go into this graduation party because I was invited, right? I didn't think much of it. And I had about 10 people that I had never met before walk up to me and say, "Are you Bill Schneider? Thank you. I love you. Thank you for everything you're doing with the family." That, I just tell them, dude, it's not me, it's God. To me, myself, and I wouldn't be here right now,
Yep.
right? So, finding the most excitement in serving other people, right? But first, we have to fix ourselves, right? So, how does it look? Now, going back to these feelings, right? These are the feelings that are acceptable. These other feelings are the feelings of uncontrol. They're the feelings we have when we're trying to release endorphins and feel better. We get addicted to these feelings. But we don't like them, so we're always trying to medicate them, right? So how it really works is our pride and our ego make us think we know. That's the stuff that's telling us, "Hey, dude, this is what we are. This is who we are," right? So I get the feeling, my pride and my ego keep me trapped in it. That's why the good book says, what does it say? Pride is the worst of these. Because it keeps us trapped there. That keeps us trapped in that victim mentality. Life is so hard. Man, how come these people have something I don't? The judgment, the comparing, all the things we shouldn't be doing. Why?
Yeah.
Because we should be grateful for everything we have. If we're serving other people, all that other stuff will come. I guarantee you it'll come. Without even probably really trying. But what people do is they want to help other people, but they have expectations of the outcome.
Personal gain.
Personal gain. That'll leave you feeling like your cup is always empty. People always ask me, they're like, "How do you do it?" Okay, well, this is how I do it. My feelings. Take a look at my feelings. How am I feeling? Right? I get a feeling. A part of my ego keep me there. I'm stuck in that feeling until I act out on it. Or I get a feeling, a negative feeling. My pride and my I get a negative feeling. My pride and my ego say, "Hey, dum-dum, this isn't lining up with who God created you to be. Let's change it." Let's take a look at it, that negative feeling. Situation. This happened. In prison, my dad called me fat. Always told me I was fat, worthless. In prison, someone told me I looked like J-Lo. Right? That was the situation. This is a negative belief system, right?
Yeah.
PSA. Principal self-analysis. Principal self-analysis. What are those principles? I was a great man that walked the earth. Well, who was it?
Jesus.
Oh, okay. What principles did he practice?
Forgiveness.
He didn't have tolerance or acceptance?
No tolerance, yeah, for sure.
And acceptance?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because I think, what did they do? Put him on a cross?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're-
Unconditional
Say
love.
forgive them for they don't know what they do.
Unconditional love. Okay. I know it jumps around a little bit, but are you following it?
Oh, yeah.
Can you track it?
Yeah.
Situation. Hey, Bill, Schneider, you look like J-Lo. Oh, yeah? My belief system, belief / thoughts. Because how does it work? Belief, thoughts, feelings, actions,
Yep.
consequences. Someone's always got to pay that piper, boy.
Mm-hmm.
My belief is you're going to respect me. Because I do. Or I'm going to make you respect me. Right? My actions. What would my actions be?
Violence.
Oh yeah, I smashed him with the food tray in the chow hall. My consequences.
Probably the whole.
Oh yeah, I think I did a month and a half. Last 54 days, good time. Last 54 days, I couldn't talk to my kids. Dad of the year. Right? Whole time. I mean, that dude didn't hit the same yard again.
Yeah.
My desired, the situation's the same. It's the same, J-Lo. My beliefs and my thoughts. That's why I have to challenge them, beliefs and thoughts. What do I challenge them with?
Positive thoughts.
Come on, bro. You just looked at it.
Yeah, the love.
If these negative things are coming from this,
Yep.
what are the principles that I need to challenge those with?
Love.
Yeah.
Yep.
I need acceptance, tolerance, and forgiveness, right? I need to accept him for who he is, right?
Yep.
Okay. I just have to get this to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got to change my perspective. That's why I said, is what really is true in that my realities or my belief system. My belief creates my realities, right?
Change your belief, change your outcome.
Oh yeah. So I got to challenge this belief thought process. And how do I do that? Okay. He said this, right? Oh, how do I believe it? Acceptance. Okay, man, I accept that. He probably doesn't really know that my dad called me a lard ass my whole life. And told me I was going to be worthless. He probably doesn't really know that I have a deep down insecurity. He probably doesn't know I got stretch marks like a pregnant woman on my stomach. Right? And the reality of this, believe. And the reality of this, right, is he he doesn't know me. No, I'll just say my daddy issues. Right?
Mhm.
I know. You know what? I can forgive him. Maybe he was just trying to break the ice and really be my friend. Because, you know, maybe he wasn't really that bad of a guy. Right? Break the ice. My actions could have been more like this. Hey man, we don't play like that.
Yep.
Let's just not do that. You know, like, we're cool. You know, like, let's just keep it cool. And maybe someday we become good friends and then we do joke like that. Right? Talk about it. And the consequences is,
Put it into friendship.
oh, friendship. I didn't go to the hole. I still got to talk to my kids. It wasn't 54 days later that I couldn't talk to my kids. Does this make sense? And then I can really dig deeper into this and go challenge my daddy issues with acceptance, tolerance, and forgiveness, right? This is the cognitive thinking. This is dealing with the mental obsession cognitively. This is teaching it spiritually.
Yep.
Dude, when you look at the success rates of addiction counseling and treatment centers, they are trash.
Mm-hmm.
Because they try to treat everything mentally. Look at some of the ones that you might know of, and they treat it more spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think the success rate difference is?
Massive.
Massive.
Yep. Probably at least 70% difference.
This looks a little bit different every time I go through it because there's a lot going on. But in the reality, in the grand scheme of things, the easiest way to break this down is self-acceptance, being fulfilled in oneself. Right? Being okay to be alone.
If you were self-accepting in that situation, when that comment was thrown or bounced off you,
Oh yeah.
you'd have been like,
Yeah.
that didn't even do nothing.
Right?
Yep.
It's when we live in fear. Go
It's
ahead.
easier.
When we live in fear,
Mm-hmm.
we forget those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Chan, is it still recording?
Mm-hmm.